Here with Granada, Northwest football teams in action today with their goals.
Hello there. Liverpool's hopes of coming through on the blind side to take the championship collapsed at Coventry today, so it's head-to-head, Manchester United and Newcastle. Let's check the scorers in the Premier League. Of course, a couple of very important relegation matches today, one of them affecting Manchester City. That was the big Manchester derby. It finished there, Manchester City 2, Manchester United 3. Everton won 2-0 at home today, 3-0 in fact. Daniel Amakachi with a late one, and Bolton, well, that leaves them right at the bottom of the Premiership. Well, there's the result that really destroys Liverpool's hopes. And there's the one that really increases Manchester United's and increases Manchester City's anxieties over relegation. And a good win for Southampton. That's bad news for Manchester City. So at the top, it's 3 points the difference. Newcastle still have a game in hand, but Manchester United have a superior goals difference. I think you've got to say that's the end for Liverpool now. And at the bottom, Manchester City now just 1 point from a place of safety. And or a position in the relegation 3, with Coventry having played a game less. Well, Oldham's anxieties were slightly eased last week, but not positionally. The win over Grimsby couldn't lift them out of the bottom 3, so still a lot of work to do. That was clearly the message before they set about Derby, straight from the off today, but they just didn't get the breaks. Jim Beglin.
A goal was all that was missing from an improved, aggressive and hard-working first-half Oldham display. As Lee Richardson tested Russell Holt, you would have thought the home side was chasing promotion. The lack of a prolific chance-taker has probably most hampered their season. Manchester City's Jerry Craney was drafted in on loan to help make a difference, but even he was finding it difficult to hit the net. Having missed a good scoring opportunity just before the break, Marco Gabbiadini then made amends soon after by earning Derby a penalty, but despite a brave Gerrard attempt, Paul Simpson was successful. Once the visitors had that precious advantage, they were determined to protect it, which meant fewer chances for Graham Sharp's men, frustration here for Sean McCarthy, and now major worries for the Latics.
Thanks, Jim. Bit of an Easter parade of goals today. Stoke enjoyed a great win over Wolves in midweek, their first for a month actually, but they really trod on a banana skin at the Victoria Ground today. Camilla Affleck.
Hanging on to a playoff place by just 1 point, Stoke knew they needed all 3 from this game. Their nearest chances fell to Lee Sandford from Potter's corner, and then Simon Sturridge, a scorer against Wolves in midweek, whose attempt looked too high as Stoke failed to capitalise on their superiority. But on 34 minutes, as ironically Grimsby began to come back into the game, Stoke went ahead through an audacious backflick from Mike Sherrin, his 4th in as many games. But 2 minutes after the restart, Grimsby equalised through Paul Groves, as Stoke's defence lined up, but did nothing. And it became even more grim for Stoke as the visitors took the lead through Tony Gallimore. Stoke pushed desperately forward, but Sherrin's miss-hit typified their luck.
Well, after being eyeball to eyeball with relegation a month ago, Port Vale represent just about our best chance of promotion, albeit via the playoffs. Still in with a chance, following only their 2nd defeat in 16 league games, going down 3-1 at St Andrews this afternoon, where the commentator was David Smith.
Birmingham have sent up all the big men. Edwards and Breen are in there waiting for the cross. It might still come to Edwards. Across goal. The header is in by Barnes. Pesky Salido. Now Hunt. Forces are gathering for Birmingham. Just slightly behind the play. Hunt again to Pesky Salido. To be Cornforth. Curls it in with his right foot. Breen is there, Tate's in space. Foyle helps it on, Porter, and there's one back for Port Vale.
Finished 3-1. Well, Tranmere's home form has really been their downfall this season. It's usually their great strength, isn't it? But where would they be without the man, Aldo? Andy Gill reports.
Tranmere's home form has been poor since Christmas. Here Robert Fleck feeds Darren Eadie, and he finishes with some style, despite 2 Rovers players on the line. Tranmere equalised after 60 minutes. I hardly need to tell you who it was. John Aldridge's 24th goal of the season. It finished 1-1.
Wins today for Sunderland and Derby, as we've seen, and, well, no others there. And at the bottom, the bad news really for Oldham is that West Brom won, and so did Reading. So they're 4 points now from a position of safety. Well, in the second division, Blackpool looks sure of one of the two automatic promotion places, despite losing 1-0 at Oxford this afternoon. Joey Beecham scoring, and Crewe also going down to two Taylor goals. Well, the winner in the 90th minute after Steve McCauley had given them a very early 1-0 lead. Well, Burnley's new manager, Adrian Heath, began with a win at Bristol City, but it's been downhill ever since. Only 2 points, 3 goals scored and 15 conceded. But after a disastrous first half, there was no shortage of spirits, I can assure you of that. But the points drought continues. Chris Bissam reports.
Burnley was 6 from bottom this morning and still looking for their first home win under Adrian Heath. Unfortunately, it was all one-way traffic in the first half. Neil Tolson got the break for Bradford after 35 minutes. 1 minute later, and it was 2-0. Mark Winstanley turning the ball back into his own net. Liam Robinson put Burnley back in it, just in the right spot to stab home his first goal of the season. Just over 10 minutes later, and after some good Burnley pressure and a scramble on the line, the ref adjudged it handball, and it was a penalty to Burnley. David Ayres was the man to step up, his first since December the 16th against Swansea. 2-2. Things were looking good for Burnley until late on. Andy Kawamia stealing the points from Bradford.
Burnley just a point above the dropping zone now. Well, Stockport look to have played too many games, really. They've played 41 now, but at least they got 3 points away. Here's their first goal, an absolute cracker too by John Jeffers from Alan Armstrong's corner. Watch this as it's knocked back. Pick that one out. And Matthew Bounds got a late winner for them. Right, let's find out how Swansea Wrexham got on, or let's see the scores anyway. I'm sure you know the result by now, the Welsh derby. They're the Wrexham scorers in a fine 3-1 away win. And Blackpool have lost the leadership now, but they still look very, very good for automatic promotion. Crewe, well, almost certain to be in the playoffs. Top of Division 3, and bursting with pride once more are Preston. Even more to celebrate today on and off the pitch. Andy Gill reporting.
It nearly all went pear-shaped for Preston in the first minute. Jermaine Wright heading across the goal. After that, it was mainly Preston pressure, lots of corners, but little to show for it. Paul Birch's chip, the nearest they came. Doncaster showed us how not to take a free kick, and it was goalless at half-time. Preston should have gone ahead early in the second half, Gary Bennett hitting the bar, then producing a fine save. An almighty scramble ensued. Somehow, Doncaster eventually cleared it. The pressure paid off, though, after 62 minutes. Yet another Preston corner. It fell to Paul Birch, and he lashed it home. It should have been more, Saville missing a sitter near the end, but 12,700, Deepdale's biggest of the season, will be happy with the 3 points.
They'll be disappointed, though, at the gig. A surprise home defeat by Bury. And let's see now how Wigan got on this afternoon. No one's won more games at home in the country than Wigan. They made it 15 today. David Lowe, the scorer. Let's have a look at the goal. Following Chester City 5-0 against Scarborough. Let's have a look at the Chester goals then. Jim Beglin's sat with me, by the way.
It was a good result for them, certainly, today, Elton. I mean, Kevin Ratcliffe has been wondering what they were doing wrong early in the year. The first goal there in 20 minutes came from Andy Milner. And some debate whether Stuart Rimmer or Kevin Noteman got this one, but I think we can clear it up there that it was definitely Kevin Noteman. That was 2 goals in a minute. They grabbed another one just before half-time. Chris Priest, attacking midfielder, gets in those positions, and in fact that could have even been Kevin Noteman who snuck in on him there.
Stuart Rimmer, this one for sure, Jim.
Yeah, definitely.
Lovely turn,
yeah, well, the best way to upset teams really at the bottom, not let them drag you down to their level, just to get at them, and Chester certainly did that, and the final goal was Andy Milner's second on 63 minutes, a good win.
Right, and the style of it will really please Kevin Ratcliffe. We can see that David Lowe goal for Wigan, I think, Jim. Slight bit of confusion, but here we go. It's his first goal since returning to Springfield Park. And it gave him 3 points. Bye.
He must have done something to it.